Okay, so I have been asked to speak about trademarks and design rights in branding, in creating a brand image. Now I ask myself, since most of you in this room are from IP officers, and I think are experts in IP, I was asking myself what I would be able to speak to you about, talking about trademarks and design rights in branding. But I will try, because, so I will try to present it because I work for the IP for Business division, as some of you know. And our job is to look at not the legal aspects of IP in terms of registering IP, and that's what you're doing, you're implementing the law in registering IP rights, but to ask yourselves, why do we have this system? For what purpose am I registering these IP rights? When you see yourself in that context, as the IP office, as a facilitator, as an important player in the innovation system, as an important player in the economic growth of a country, then you can see things a bit differently. So this is what I want to do. So like I said, I can't teach you about trademarks and design rights because you know better than me about these rights. You're doing this every day. But let's look at why we have this system. And then I will introduce to you some of our tools and materials, because as more and more of your officers are now reaching out to businesses, are becoming more proactive in your engagement with businesses, it is important to have somewhat of a business perspective of the IP system. So the first question I would ask, so you might have a wonderful product, but if you go to the supermarket and you see this, what goes through your mind? What is the problem with this? It might be a great product inside these containers, but what is missing? Identification. So what does that identification do for you as a consumer? Sorry?
Like image of the brand. Yeah, image. Or as a consumer, actually, when we are using one product, so it creates like its reputation and image in our mind. So when we like went to the market, we always searching the goods in the name of brand.
So he says when you have an image or some kind of identifier, it creates a reputation in your mind, right? So that reputation that it creates in your mind allows you, it facilitates your task. Because when you go next time to the supermarket, you can easily buy that again. Otherwise, you don't have to search again. So it makes your life easier, and it creates a reputation in your mind. And if that reputation is created in your mind, what does it do for the business? Can anyone else? Sorry? It adds value. In what way? How does it help a business? Can someone else give me an idea? Loyalty. It creates loyalty, exactly. So for the business, it's very valuable when a customer has that reputation in his mind and comes back for repeat custom. It creates loyalty. So these are very important functions of having an identifier. So you might have a great product, but that's no point if you can't create some kind of consumer recognition. So when you have some kind of identifier, it gives you information on the source and the quality and the reliability of the product. It makes it, I'm saying this other way around, it makes it easy to find again. It provides an incentive to maintain the quality, and it builds trust and loyalty. So this is from, as I said, from a business perspective, trademarks are extremely important in creating that consumer, the way to attract consumers. So of course you know these famous identifiers, and so you can use any kind of symbol, image, or signs, or a combination of these, and that way your customers can identify your products and separate them from the others. That's the other important thing. You're distinguishing your products from your competitors. It could be a shape, a smell. So these are all different ways in which you can identify your products, and you can protect them through the trademark system. So basically, the trademark is basically any sign that you can use to distinguish your products and services from those of another enterprise. And it's very important because that's the way you can make the consumers get attached to your products, build a reputation, have repeat customers, and build up a loyal and a strong trademark. So you have to make sure your trademark is strong. Many companies tend to use words or sign that hints at the nature of the goods, rather than find something like Google or Apple for computers or Kodak or something that is harder to create a link with the product, but in time it becomes a much stronger trademark, rather than using a suggestive trademark, which basically a lot of other people would use similar trademarks, and it becomes a weak trademark. So you have to make sure your trademark is strong, so that there are different levels of strength. I won't go into those, but you know all of these. Another way of making your products appealing is through design rights. You can make your products interesting, appealing, colorful, attractive by using any kind of ways to make it appealing to your consumers. So these are design rights that you can use, the ornamental or aesthetic aspects of a product that allows you to distinguish your products and services. It's important to remember that brand is not only with trademarks or designs, but it's the whole intellectual property pyramid that you have. All of your creativity, your innovations, your knowledge, everything is built into that brand. So it's not only the identifier. What is identifying is that there's a whole pyramid of characteristics that the product has that is then communicated through the identifier to the consumer. So when you have the Apple iPhone, or if you have some Harley Davidson motorbike, it's not just the identifier, it's everything about the product that you're communicating through the identifier. So it's all of these elements come together to build the brand. So brand is not just the trademarks and designs, but it's everything else. It's the innovation. So in other words, patents are also part of the brand identity, right? Creations are also part, trade secrets are also part of the brand identity. So everything builds into that brand identity. So this event here, we are talking about GIs, and so I will quickly touch on collective marketing, because today we live in a very integrated world where many of us, there's no longer the unique products that you used to find in the past, because the world is much smaller. There's much more trade. We are all, what shall I say, dressing similar, eating similar, living in the same way, listening to the same songs. So in order to distinguish yourselves more and more, small producers and businesses are trying to find different ways of trying to distinguish themselves, and one way is through collective marketing. And so you can have a collective mark where you get together with other consumers and you have an association and you agree on the characteristics of the association, and you have a collective mark. This is an example of a hotel chain in France that there's an association of hoteliers that agree on a certain characteristics, and they are allowed to apply that mark to those hotels. Or you can have a certification mark where you have a certifying authority certifying that a product meets a certain criteria. And then I will just come to our tools and materials. We have developed a series of guides that we call the IP for Business series of guides. These are business-friendly guides on trademark management, patent management, copyright management, and the recent guide we have done is on startups, on looking at the whole journey of a startup and looking at the IP issues that affect a startup during that journey. Now I have shared some of these guides with some of you. And the idea of these guides is that they are done in such a way that they are easily adaptable to the conditions of a particular country. So we have developed a generic international template, if you want to call it. It's a kind of a template. And you can fill in the local information to those guides, put in local examples, and make it your own. And this is what we want for you to do as a first step in interacting with businesses, to develop material that can speak to those businesses. So these guides are available to you on our website, and you can download them for free. They're available in all the UN languages. And then, as I said, I invite you to translate and adapt to your local context. We can help you financially also, if you want, in that regard, to be able to do this. And this is the startup guide. This is the table of contents of the startup guide, and you can see that it goes through the whole journey of a startup and all the different, where IP intersects with that startup. And this is what I want to share with you today, the WIPO IP Diagnostics. It's an IP self-assessment tool that we've developed, and I will just quickly demonstrate that to you. IP Diagnostics. You click on Start WIPO IP Diagnostics. It takes you to 10 basic questions. And these are the questions that we have determined are what a business would normally intersect with an IP system. So what are the 10 main areas that we have identified? And if you answer yes to any of these 10 areas, then the IP system is relevant for you. That's the basic message. So have you developed a product or process that you consider new or innovative? Do you generate materials like manuals, pamphlets, labels, videos, software, etc.? Do you use features like patterns, lines, colors, or shapes to make your product, external appearance of a product attractive? Do you rely on information that you consider commercially valuable? Do you use a logo? Do you rely on external suppliers? Do you have or intend to create a website? And do you manufacture or sell products outside the country? Do you have employees? And do you have access to IP expertise? And here I will answer no, because this is why we have this tool for those who don't have access to IP expertise. So as you can see, these are 10 basic questions that a business must answer. And I have answered yes to all of them for demonstration purposes. And then I press click, next, and it takes me to 10 sections. These are basically, the sections are going deeper into the areas that we already answered yes to. So I will just go into trademarks. And the question is, do you have a trademark registered at a national or regional IP office? Because if you recall, the first question was, do you use a sign to distinguish your products and services? And we said yes, right? And now we are saying, have you registered this sign, right? And I will say no here. And then we are asking, what kind of sign is it? Is it an invented? We remember the strength of trademarks that I showed in my presentation. Now it's asking, is it an invented word or sign like Google? Or is it an existing word or sign with no relation to the product? Is it a word that hints at a product? It refers directly to the product, or not sure? So I will check, as I said, a word that hints at a product, because that again, businesses very often use trademarks that hint at a product, as opposed to finding something that has absolutely no connection to the product. And is this already registered by someone else? And there's an information button here, you can click it, and it tells you if you're not sure, you can start searching the WIPO Global brand database, etc. I will say not sure here. Are you interested in attracting investors to your company? I will say yes to that. Have you considered obtaining the right to use someone else's trademark? Was your mark designed for you by someone else? So basically that's it for the trademark section. If I had answered yes here, it would take you down a different path of questions. So I say next, and my section is marked green, which means I have finished the section. As you can see, there are 10 sections to do. And then you can download a report. There's a report here. And you get this report, it is 4 pages, and it says you indicated that you do not have yet a registered trademark. And then it goes on to explain what a trademark is, why is it important for a business, talks about making it easy for consumers to find the product. It's an efficient marketing tool, it prevents consumer confusion, and then it talks about distinctiveness of a mark. And it explains strong trademarks and weak trademarks. And then it explains that the trademark that you've chosen is perhaps a weak trademark. And about existing trademarks of competitors, again, it explains what does it mean, and it talks about the dangers of infringement of another trademark. Investors, it talks about the importance of trademarks for investors in terms of the value of a company, in what they're looking for in investing in a company. And if a trademark was designed by a third party for you, then the issues of ownership, etc., that arise. So as you can see, it's a 4-page report. If you do all 10 sections, you will get something like 45 pages of report. So it's a fairly comprehensive analysis of the IP situation of your company. When I say comprehensive, it is still very basic. As you can see, the report is extremely basic, but it's comprehensive. It covers all the areas, right? So if a business does this tool, it gets a comprehensive but basic analysis of its business situation, of its IP situation in the business. It checks all the boxes. It's like a checklist. It allows the business to check all of the areas that it should be concerned about and do them and get a report and get some idea. It is kind of a pre-analysis before you go to your lawyer, you know. So this is something that we are asking IP officers and others who are interested to also translate. This is available in all UN languages, plus Japanese and soon in Portuguese. Very soon we are looking forward to India, going to be translating it. Professor Ganguly is involved in that project. And as you can notice in this tool, GIs are not there. Collective marks are not there. Certificate marks are not there. Only trademarks are there in a very simple way. So we are hoping together with India to develop on GIs. So this is something that will be very important development for the tool. So we are hoping that IP officers would translate this tool so as to make it available to your businesses so that they can do it, right? But also as a way of providing additional advice to companies. So those of you, and many of you that we hope to discuss with you when you're during these 5 days about building your business support capacity for SMEs, we are hoping that you could translate this tool and then use this tool to engage in your discussions with companies and to provide added value, because the reports, like I told you, are basic. You need to provide more information. Now, this has been done in Trinidad and Tobago. They have taken this tool, and what they do is that they have a walk-in service. So businesses can walk into the IP office to ask for advice. They tell all these people, you do this tool before you come. And when they come, they bring the report with them, and then the IP office sits with them and then goes through the report and gives them additional advice and support based on the report. So it makes their work easier because it has covered all the bases, it has done the basic work, and then the IP office can add value to what they have done. So this is broadly what I want to share with you in terms of tools and materials that we have. And like I said, I tied it to the business aspects of IP, not talking about the law of IP, of trademarks and designs, but how do you use these tools to reach your businesses, to reach your customers in a way that they understand and they can use the IP system more effectively in their business strategies. So thank you very much. That's all I want to share with you.
So thank you for your presentation, Ms. Tamara. Do you have any questions? Just a couple questions of these sessions.
My question is, Just wanted to know whether you have any tutorial for this IP diagnostic tool that you have just presented. Some people, they would like to have to go through some tutorial so that they will be able to browse this tool that you have just mentioned.
So the way I had envisaged, like I said, because it's quite a basic tool, I didn't think that people would want some more information. But we have prepared a kind of a guide that tells how to use the tool and how to interpret some of the information. I don't know whether that's what you mean, but I have prepared a document that does that. But we also see our guides as being the additional information that will provide more information about the text that's here. But if you have something else in mind, tell me, because maybe it's something we can do.
Yeah, exactly. I was just talking about that guide only. But normally, I don't know about other countries, but people don't like to really read and then go through the matter. They would just like to see a video tutorial and then go ahead with whatever they want to do.
You mean a tutorial on how to use this?
Yes, yes,
So it's
exactly.
a video on how to use this?
Yes.
Okay, I understand. Okay, I understand. That we can do, yeah. Thank you.
Another questions?
Thank you. Question to Ms. Tamara. I personally strongly believe that the GI sign, it should make the confidence and the trust for the customer. My question is, should we have like something like a QR code to tell the information for customer to looking for information that they want to? Thank you.
There's a QR code here. If you like, you can scan it. Can you see it? If you can scan it from your mobile phone, you will have this on your mobile phone. And you can also do it on your mobile phone.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your presentation.
But I think you are referring to something else, but I will ask you. But I remember the QR code. Anything else?
Thank you, Tamara, for introducing this powerful tool for the businesses. I don't know, do you normally update the version of these tools, or it's once in a while, or just leave it like that?
Well, we would like to update, but this came out last year. So we are in the process of unrolling it and translating and doing those kinds of things. So we haven't got into updating yet. It's still fresh. But if countries translate and adapt it, you can do what you want with it. You can take it and you can make it the way you like, and we encourage that.
I'd just like to make one quick comment, since we are doing certain things together in India shortly. Maybe in about a month or two, we are taking up this. We are going to incorporate the GI part into it. We are already looking at it very closely. So the point that you made, we'll get into it. That's number one. Number two, that we are translating that, we are going to translate it in all the Indian languages, right, which includes Bengali. So therefore, Bangladesh will also come into that.
Oh, that's good.
The last part is that we are going to adapt it to our sort of conditions and our requirements. So when we do that, we'll be interacting with some of the neighboring countries as well. So for example, when we do the Tamil, that will also be applicable to Sri Lanka, right? Because India has so many languages. So once we do that, they'll become common for, now if, for example, you want Bhutan to be into it, argument purpose, maybe we can work out how to do it so that you don't put the extra effort. We can do it for you and with you, not just for you, but with you. So we can work all these things out. I just thought I'll make this little comment.
Thank you very much.
So
That's
when
very helpful.
we do the project, which we plan to start shortly, we will get in touch with you. Our Controller General will actually get in touch with you on this sort of a thing, so that we can develop it for the region together. It will become more relevant for
That
the
will be excellent. Thank you
So
very
that's
much.
my thought process I thought which I.
So thank you, Lima. Thank you for your presentation, Ms. Tamara.